Hi, CT Colt members. I'm here today with Rita Oleksak, and I'm really excited to interview her. But then I'm sad also to see her retire, so kind of mixed feelings. But I wanted to see if we could do a little tribute to her as she's on her way out. And so I thought that we would make this mostly about her, but I would ask her some questions and let her share with us some of her proudest moments. One thing that I am so impressed with you, Rita, just to start a little bit, is that you've been the former president of 5 organizations. Is that true, including ACTFA?
Well, I actually really didn't count, but I have been pretty involved, and I would probably say out of my 40 years, I've probably served on voluntary boards for about 36 of those years.
And that is just one of the many things that I admire about you, how much you have exalted our profession, not only exalted, but helped articulate exactly what it is we're striving for. And I think of the seal of biliteracy and your work there. And I think of what I think is most important for students, and that's the exchange programs and the immersion programs and your Star Talk. I mean, there's just so much that I admire, and we're going to try to share some of that with our public. So I have a question for you. What are you proudest about in working with teachers?
Well, it's funny that you bring up all of those things. I guess I'm just most proud of I don't know. I think about the passion that I have in working with teachers, and I hope that teachers see that I would never ask them to work any harder than I'm willing to work. And all the things that you mentioned at the beginning of this wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the help and support of all the teachers in my or in any place that I've been working. So I guess it's given me pause the closer I get to retirement to wonder about I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for everybody else and people's willingness to get on the train and move forward and do the best that they can. So, I mean, there are many things that I'm proud of in the district, but I mean, I thought about when I first came here 17 years ago, what difference could I make in an already very high performing district? But I will say that I do take the opportunity when something falls at our doorstep to apply and take a risk. And if the answer is no, to get up and try again. And I've had people that have helped me along that way make it a reality.
So a fantastic leader says, attributes the victories to the other people, which is fantastic. And this is another thing that I've always wondered about. At all of the conferences, your teachers are presenting. And and when I've ever been at Glastonbury High School, your teachers are all sitting in the workroom at late hours of the day. So I'm wondering, like, how do you inspire your people? Because it's fantastic that they are the presenters. It's fantastic that they believe, and they do have so much to share. So I'm wondering, how do you touch and inspire that people that way so they feel like they want to commit and deliver?
Well, I'm really not sure how I do it, except that I had some marvelous, marvelous role models along the way. I had former directors and colleagues that invited me to join them at conferences, invited me to attend my first year teaching. You have to come to MAFLA, which was the state organization. You have to go to the Foreign Language Teachers of Western Mass time when I was in Massachusetts. And then little by little, I mean, people such as June Phillips and I'm thinking of Joy Rangillian Berge and Kathleen Reardon, past president of ACTFL in Massachusetts. They invited me to take a little snippet of their presentation. So over the years, I've always said to teachers, just take on a little part or co-present with me or let's think about this because I think people don't realize the difference they're making in their own district. I only wish everybody had the opportunity to go to conferences on a regular basis. And I don't want to sound like, because sometimes people have said, oh, well, you're Glastonbury. And I'm sorry, we have a lot to learn in Glastonbury. We can always get better. But it, I just feel as though teachers need to be out there and see the opportunity. And if they come back learning one new thing that they can then do I think that makes a difference. Every time I've had an opportunity or something comes out, any like Colt, any of the language awards, shame on us if we don't nominate students and teachers for those awards. Because just like with the ACTFL Teacher of the Year, all those teachers are Teachers of the Year. Colt, I mean, when it first started, ACTFL didn't have representation from everywhere. And now every state is participating, every region is participating. And all these people are Teachers of the Year. They're all advocates. And I think whether you're recognized for it or not, we all have something to share. You're all leaders in your own classroom.
It is very true that teachers often don't know what a difference they're making and what a good job they're doing. I agree with you there. So it's really fantastic for you to recognize them and to invite them to share. That's really great. So what inspires you to continue learning and to stay current in the field?
I think I am my own worst enemy, and that is the thing that concerns me the most about retiring is that I won't be current anymore. And I learn from my teachers, I learn from the questions they have, I learn from our national and international issues. Every time there's an opportunity to be part of a webinar or a professional development or to attend something, I want to participate because I feel that it's my responsibility to be on top of things and learn so that I can share things with my teachers. So very recently, one of my teachers is going through her 092 certification. And after her first course, she came back to me and she said, wow, she goes, we're on top of things here. She said that I didn't learn anything really new, and that's no offense, but that really made me feel good because that's my job. As the instructional leader for my teachers, that's my job.
That is fantastic. Fantastic. So, what are you looking forward to in retirement?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been very quiet about sharing what I plan to do because I really don't have a plan other than to calm down inside. Because, as I said to the superintendent, if I want our district's in a really great place right now, in my humble opinion, as far as moving forward and continuing the work. Of course, we have more to do, but I just think I jokingly say I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Um, and I really don't know. I'd like to travel. I've had a couple offers to do some projects. Leaving my options open. I have 5.5 grandchildren, one on the way. And when I first started, I was working 2 jobs. And after 3 years, we started having children. So we really haven't done a lot of traveling and exploring. I want to study French and Spanish more. I hope to walk the Camino or parts of it someday. And I just, like I said to the superintendent, I can't be halfway in. So, and I just don't know how to say no, which is a fault of my own. So I will work until June 30th and then I will not be working anymore.
I love it. I can't imagine Rita without a plan, but I do love it. I think it's a great idea.
It's not to have a plan right now.
So, talking a little bit about balance, how this year needed a lot of balance. And how do you balance as a leader in challenging times? I know what's really hard is keeping Rita balanced, but also helping your teachers stay balanced. How do you do that?
Well, it's I will say we have extremely strong administration. And I feel as though I have a lot of support from my administrators. And they've always been there to answer my questions, no matter how small, and to support me in good times and bad. And I just, again, thinking back to my role models, I just want to be there for my staff. I think about one of my former bosses, a real mentor of mine, Kathy Reardon. And when my mother had died and I was going through a difficult period, she just kept pulling me aside, checking in on me. And I think I am who I am, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I have tried to be genuine. I don't know if everybody sees me that way, but I will never ask somebody to work any harder. And I want to be there to support them. So as we were going through the pandemic, and of course now we look most recently at the tragic events this week, The goal, I just reached out to a teacher with a phone call this afternoon because I had seen some of the teacher's social media posts, and I just wanted to make sure the teacher was okay. Um, and, I don't know what else I can do other than I said, I'm here if you want to call me again later and you want to talk. And I just, I think about the district really adjusted some of the end of the year reviews, the ways we were doing things over the past couple of years to take a step back and see what's really important. And I know there are colleagues of mine, teachers of mine, because I have a staff of over about 60, that some of them probably thought I pushed too hard. But I do know that we had to continue the rigor and try to, keep moving forward. And so I'm really proud. We have 152 students who passed the seal of biliteracy this year.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. That's something to be so proud of. And yes, I do think that as tough as the year was, we benefited from moving forward. So
Absolutely.
no regrets, no regrets. So what are your hopes for world language programs in the future? You have so impacted our profession. The prestige of our profession. I so thank you for that. And what are your hopes as you go without a plan, but still, I know you'll still impact world language programs. And what do you wish for them?
You know, you're actually very kind to me, and I don't see myself as that way, but I do feel, I mean, first of all, the single greatest factor to building student proficiency is the use of our language. And I do think the use of rigor and expectations. And I think about Greg Duncan, and I think about his determining those proficiency levels and then telling all of us just work towards that level. And for example, me not backing down and saying to our teachers, at the end of year one, you need to be at novice high. And at the end of year two, you need to be here. So I think about the fact that the seal of biliteracy is an impetus for us. And I applaud the work that Connecticut has done without a state supervisor to go forward with the seal of biliteracy. And I think now all 50 states, I think the last three are in process, but all 50 states have some form of the seal of biliteracy. And I also think that the baseline is the unifying standards. And now infused with, the functions and intercultural competence. And I see ACTFL as the umbrella organization to supporting and helping all other organizations. And I see the growth that has taken place at Colt, and I applaud all of the work that you have done. And I just think that, somebody said to me something about advocacy and politics. And I said, well, I really don't want to be a director. This was 19 years ago, 20 years ago now. And I said, no, I can't deal with politics. It is all politics, but more than that, it's advocacy. And I recently told my teachers, never, ever, ever stop advocating for what you believe to be true and good for students.
I like that. I really like the idea of rigor. I really like the idea of aiming for the seal. I really like the idea of articulating proficiency in behaviors that kids can and participate in the process.
Absolutely.
So, Rita, thank you so much for this chat today, and thank you so much. It's not long enough to tell you thank you so much for what you've done for world language.
I just thank you, and to whoever's going to see this, just know that I am just one small piece of a really big puzzle. And I think with all of us working together and the support that I have received, not only district, state, national, but state supervisors, district supervisors around the country, belonging to your organization is really important. You have to be able to network and connect, and you have to be able to see the opportunities. I think there are silver linings to the pandemic. I mean, I know people want to be in person, but there's also a lot to be had with the opportunities that were presented to us having virtual professional development and opportunities to connect. And I think we need to pull from all of that the best that was and move forward to continue to learn and grow.
Oh, I would so agree with you. Thank you so much. And CT
Thank
Colt
you.
members, this has been their Colt Tip of the Week. Thank you for watching.